Okay, guys. Cryptic Sean here. I want to talk about the movements happening in BTC cryptocurrency indexes right now. Okay, we've got a breakout on the 4-hour chart, right? As we saw, price came crashing down, or what was said to be crashing down. That's actually a correction in the market. Price action into a descending channel, and now we've got a confirmed breakout, right? This is happening at a key level, so we've got resistance happening at level 48,765, which it appears to have pierced through and broken. It's definitely got a confirmed breakout of the pattern, right? What usually happens here is one of three things in cryptocurrencies, right? You get a breakout, especially if it comes out from the bottom of the pattern. It's very powerful, right? You normally get what we've seen so far. Okay, that's normal. What happens here is, like I say, one of three things. You either get a rollover and a return into the pattern. Okay, that makes the breakout invalid. What we're seeing here, though, is we've got a 4-hour chart. You've got more than 75% of the first candle closing above the pattern, and that's a confirmation, right? You've got confirmation there. I would have maybe liked a little bit more volume on the breakout, but that not being present, we do have two candles entirely outside of the pattern. Now, so we've said option one, okay, we get a rollover return into the pattern. I don't think that's valid right now. Option two is a return to the pattern for a retest before upward continuation. And this is usually the most bullish scenario, is where it comes back down and retests our pattern and goes up again. A lot of traders watch for these kind of breakouts. So another thing that can happen is split into two scenarios. Either you get a parabolic move straight up, or you get a test of the next zone. Okay, so it might not reach the pattern retest. It might reach up and test the next support resistance line. In this case would be then support, okay, and looking for upward continuation. Right, I'm not going to draw the fib levels here. I just want to put forward an idea that I've been following for a while, and I'm going to move it over to a daily to get this. Okay, so if we're on a daily, we could be looking at a third, or let me rather say another Elliott wave. Okay, so BTC does have some kind of an upward trend going on here. Okay, I'm going to draw one of these lines here, get as many validations as we can. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. No, that's not it. That's not it. That's more like it there. Okay, so that's our upward trend line. Okay, if it does break this and retest, okay, if we've got a break and a retest with downward motion, it's going to be very powerful. That's where you don't want to be holding. Okay, so when it's below that level there, that's where you want to be watching your positions. Right, so what has happened so far is we've got Elliott impulse waves, okay? And I'm going to start here. There's one. Can be a little bit tricky at times to draw these. Right, but if that's our Elliott wave on that movement, then you get an ABC correction, okay? So you've got then the correction happening from point E there, A, B, C, right? And these corrections can be 50-70% of the previous impulse, of the previous Elliott wave. And in this case, you can see that the price range from there all the way up to E was a fantastic move up. But now let's take a look at the price range on the correction, right? So that's a 52% correction, and that's something to understand about Elliott waves and the corrections that happen thereafter. Now, why it's important I'm mentioning this is because, let's say, I'm going to delete these price ranges here. Let's say that we've got another Elliott wave that we've just experienced. Okay, after a consolidation, we've got here A, B, C, D, E. And then a lot of us felt the correction, the ABC correction after this E move, right? So we've got A, B, C. Another big drop. Right? So let's look at a theory here, right? We're taking our upper trend line, we're moving it upscale. Let's try and look into the future. This is all traders are trying to do. Okay. Of course, this can be very wrong, but everyone tends to be bullish around December, January. So let's see how this goes. And with a breakout like this from a 4-hour channel, it does lend promise to the idea of more upside. And if I reduce, if I zoom out of this entire thing, right, I'm gonna let's go for short term. Okay, I'm gonna put down the idea of another Elliott wave here. A, B, C, D, and E. Right, you always find that the C is more powerful, is the most powerful impulse with the highest amount of gain from the previous point. Okay, now if this should play out, okay, which will be great, because you know anyone that's getting in here is going to get all this price action. All right, if it is an Elliott wave, you're almost guaranteed of a new higher high above the previous all-time high, although it might not be much. Okay, so if you're looking at the difference from the previous Elliott to the next one, not much higher, but a lot higher than from what it is now. Okay, so let's go with this idea. Another Elliott wave happens, and this is something that I want us to be aware of, right? If you do find yourself feeling euphoric in cryptocurrencies and you're feeling, wow, my investment's doing great, also take note that that's the time to think about getting out. Okay, right, remember you've got little manipulations that happen in the market, and sometimes they retrace during the pattern, during Elliott wave. So that's what I say, sometimes can be tricky, but here's an idea. A, B, we've got a slightly higher high. C, D, E. Now remember what we've just covered in the price action on an Elliott wave, right? So if you've got there 255% up, what did we say about the retracements? Okay, and this is where you've got to get real about investing in cryptos, that it can do 50% to 70% down in a retracement, in an ABC retracement. Okay, you definitely don't want to be caught up in here when you can take profits out here. Okay, so what we're saying is, if we're going to enter a market here, right, on this current point D, and we want to ride another Elliott wave up to a new all-time high above the previous of 70 or 68,000, right, which is very likely, I mean, your guess is as good as mine, but 78, 81, somewhere around there is a good time to think about taking profits. You just do not want to be caught taking this wave down. Right, what you can do, another thing to do, which is fairly very simple, is if you're in an uptrend, right? If you're in an uptrend, cryptocurrencies love to respect their uptrend lines. And in this case, I'm going to draw one straight up from here to there. Okay, look at how well this is respected. You've got a small dip below, but not enough to retest out of it. Okay, you've got respect, 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 and it breaks. Here it's broken, and because this trend line is broken, that's exactly when you know there is downside. You know, there's definitive downside. Okay, then what people do, they hold on to their money, they hold on to their cryptocurrencies, they see it make a bounce, they say it's going to recover, and then they get euphoric, they pump more money in, and it sells off again. Okay, you don't want to get caught up putting more money in during an ABC correction. Right, and we can do that again here. Somewhat like that. All right, and we can do that. That was during the Elliott wave. Sorry, let me just adjust that one, I think. Okay, which brings us to the current situation. Let's zoom in on the 4 hour again. The current breakout. Okay, as we've been talking, as we've been just going through this, we can see that it's playing out, right? We've got that breakout confirmed. Okay, it's coming back down for a retest, and it's either going to be on the trend line or the previous or point of previous resistance, which can be, let's try and find valid. Okay, that level there, that level there. Right, so where do we buy? Me personally, I would take it in the range of around here. Okay, to get the move on the upside. How do we trade this? Because we're not traders, we don't want to leverage and liquidate, because we know that cryptocurrencies, they can wick you like that. Okay, so if you've got a 5x lev, 10x lev, 20x lev, a wick like this will destroy you. Even if you try and buy in here, a wick like that happens in moments, and it completely wrecks you. Completely wrecks. What you can do is you can use leveraged tokens. Most exchanges have them, right? And as you can see here, you can get leveraged tokens exposure without taking the risk of margin requirements, management, and liquidation risk. Main thing. Okay, so if you are going to buy a leveraged token, you're going to pay a different price rate for it, but that price rate will be directly geared to the growth of the token that you're buying. Okay, so if one is going to buy at this level here, price range gives you, and this is usually the price range expected from a breakout, right? You take the low of a pattern to the high of a pattern of the price action. Okay, 11%. So from the breakout, this is the potential price range on the breakout alone. Okay, we haven't factored in to, you know, the Elliott wave and all those ideas discussed earlier on in the vid. Okay, so price range can give you over here 10%, especially on a retest. Okay, so what we're looking for, retest, entry on the buy zone, and to get 10% up on that. If you're using a leveraged token, which, as I say, most of them are available. You've got Binance, KuCoin, Huobi, they've all got them. You can enter here, and that 3x lev token will give you limited risk for downside, because you can watch the price action. You don't want the price action to come back into the pattern. So if you're looking at 47.6 47,600, that's where you're going to say, all right, that's invalid, and you're going to stop your losses. Right, but if you buy in at this, around this level here on the retest, and you get this move, okay, which happens over the span of a day or two, and you get this move, perhaps you get 50% of the move, right? 50% being 5% there, that means that your bag can go up by 15%. If you're trading on Bitcoin or Ethereum, those are large cap tokens. They can handle large amounts of money. If you're using altcoins and using smaller amounts, those altcoins can handle smaller amounts of money. So don't expect to drop $1 million into something like sand, because you're probably going to move the market a little completely by yourself. And when you close out for profit, you're probably going to follow all the sell orders down, eliminating a lot of your profit. So, okay, large cap coins for these kind of big moves with larger amounts of money. And if the larger plan plays out with the thought of the Elliott wave, right, and we're going to, as we've mentioned here before, previously in the video, we're going to go to 78. That's a 63% up from the current price point. That Elliott wave kicks in and you got leveraged tokens, you're looking at 3x on top of that. So reasonably expect 50% on your 3x token, and that's where you want to say, right, that's where I want to take profit. Okay, 50%, you're making 150%, right? If this plays out according to Elliott wave theories, and if the markets hold. Right, guys, that's it. Good luck on the trades. Good luck in the cryptos. Watch yourselves. Do your own research. Always. Absolutely always. And if you want to get into learning about breakouts and things, have a word. I've got a few sources where I've learned all of this from. It works. All right, guys. Good luck. Talk to you soon. Bye.